Hey guys, how's it going? It's Dylan again and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to continue my videos on Magic Leap development, and I'm pretty excited because I'm actually going to start developing and pushing my game to the Magic Leap. So today I want to start and show you how we can actually sign a game, get it deployed to the Magic Leap, and work in Unity, look at some of the certificates that we created before and how we can create a process that is going to allow us to build our game anytime we have changes in our game, if we want to add tweaks, and then let's see if we can build a workflow that is going to allow us to build the game and then deploy the game to the Magic Leap. So let's go into Unity and check it out. Alright guys, so let me show you how we're going to install the Unity editor. So I'm going to open the package manager that we installed last time on the previous video. And if we open it up, you're going to see that it has the Unity editor option. We also have Unity API documentation if we needed to install that, and also a Unity package. So I'm going to open up the editor. It's going to give you the option to open it in browser, which is going to take us to Unity. And then based on the operating system that you're running, it's going to allow you to download the appropriate version. So I'm running on macOS. So I'm going to download the one for macOS. And I'm going to just open that DMG file. And I'm going to open the Unity Download Assistant, and it's going to give me a warning. I'll just say, yes, I do trust it. So hit open. And then now it's going to walk me through the process of installing the editor. So I'm going to say, yes, I do accept the license, and yes, I agree. Now it's going to ask me for which components I want to install. And I do want the documentation, so I'm going to say yes to the documentation. I want to use Visual Studio Code, so I'm not going to enable the Visual Studio for Mac option. Just going to say yes, and then let me just type in my password here to install it. And it's going to ask me where I want to install it. So we can do, I think that's, we can go to advanced. And let me see where it's going to do. I think that's fine if we do just the default. And we just say continue. And now it's going to download everything that I need and do an installation. So I'm just going to pause the video for now until this is done. And then once it's done, we'll continue on. Alright guys, so it looks like the installation completed successfully. So I'm just going to click on launch and close to launch Unity. And I'm going to go back and close this tab, and let's go ahead and continue the development setup. So the next thing that we have to do after we install Unity, let me just scroll down, which is this piece, is we need to do, there's a hello cube that we're going to be doing. So let's click on Unity setup. Now what we need to do is we're going to be creating a new project. So we're going to just follow the Create Magic Leap project instructions. So I'm going to go into Unity and we're going to click on New. And this is going to be our new experience. So I'm just going to call this one Hello Cube. Of course, this is going to be just for now, like our Hello World. And later on, we'll do, you know, a more advanced project. Maybe we can do even my project, and I can show you what I'm going to be doing with that one. So, and then select the path, and I believe everything needs to be just the same. We need to change the template. So right now you can see that we have 3D with extras, the HDRP, lightweight RP, and then of course the Magic Leap. That's the one that we need to use. And I think everything in there looks fine. Then we're just going to click on create. And that's going to create our project. And FYI, I haven't done this. This is the first time going through this process. So if there's better ways, I'm sure that we're going to be able to, you know, learn together and apply some of those learnings in some of the future videos. So right now it's just basically creating the project, compiling everything, getting things set up for us in Unity. Alright, so it looks like the project completed and got created successfully. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to layout, and let's just use the default layout so that we're familiar with everything. Perfect. Let's go back into the documentation. So we have to do a couple more things. We need to go and basically change our platform. So I'm going to go to File, Build Settings, and we're going to change it to Lumin. And if you look at the instructions here, it says just switch platform, which is what we're going to do first before we proceed. And it also is going to ask us for the SDK, so we can get that information from basically the previous video where I show you how to install the MLDB SDK and basically the Magic Leap SDK, which comes with the MLDB. So if you need to find the location, just go to that previous video and go through that video. If you haven't and you already install it, you can also, and you're on a Mac, you can do MLDB, or you can simply, search your Windows operating system and find out where you put it, or follow the documentation again. So in my case, I put it in this location, and that's the default location for macOS. So I'm just gonna copy that path, and looks like we already converted the scene to be the Lumin OS platform. The other thing that I'm gonna do is, it says no SDK path, so I'm just gonna paste the path there, and looks like that worked. And let's go back into our documentation here. I think everything looks fine, and we need to enable sign package. So we'll just do that, and I think everything looks well there and perfect. So this is very common, like even when we do iOS development, some of these things are required. So it's very common to to those other platforms. And let's see, so the next thing we need to do is point or the configuration to our certificates. We also did that on a previous video, so make sure that you watch that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the links in the description of this video, just in case if you haven't watched those, so that you have them as a reference. So now we need to go to player settings. So let's go back into Unity, and I'm gonna just bring this to the left and then click on player settings. And you can see that if I go down on publishing settings, you can see that it's asking us for the certificate location. So I'm just gonna browse to that. I put that one under my Dropbox, no YouTube. I put it under Delmar Games, and then in Delmar Games I believe I have a Magic Leap folder, which is on the very top, of course, certs. And then this is the location that I need to decide, I need to select. So we're just basically gonna use the cert there. It looks like it like that. And this is great. It looks like if we need to access some other components, music service, internet, gestures, they're all over here. I'm not very familiar with these, so we're just gonna leave those alone for now. And if we go back here, let me make sure, browse to your Magic Leap developer certificate, which is what we did, and we select it. Here you can also configure user privileges for your app, which is what we were looking at, that I'm not gonna touch for now. And the other thing that is important is the color space. So we're gonna go into rendering. So let's go here, and we're gonna go into other settings, and it looks like it's already set up for linear color space. So let's go back here, and all of this looks fine, and we're gonna go and override this guy and just gonna call it Magic Leap. So this is the bundle identifier, and I guess we're just gonna call it Hello Cube. And let's see, the version, I don't think it really matters on which version we're selecting, but just always keep in mind that normally the bundle identifiers for a lot of the platforms, even iOS and Android, there always is like reverse. So it's always come at the beginning, then your domain, which could be your company name, and then the application that you're developing. Because we're developing a Hello Cube application, that's what the name of the application is. This is the domain, and this is basically the extension of the domain. So let's see, all of that looks fine. I think we're good. And now we can close the build settings window. So I'm just gonna close this and import. So the next step is basically to download the Magic Leap packages if we needed to do that. So I'm not really sure that we need to do that, because this is the Unity API documentation, and maybe we do need to do that because it says import the Magic Leap Unity package, which we're going to need, looks like for some of the different controllers. So let's do that. Let's go into our package manager, and we're gonna go into the Magic Leap Unity package, and we're just basically gonna grab the latest one and then just hit download, and I'm gonna hit apply. And we can also download the documentation. Looks like, yeah, that's fine. We can do that next time. I don't think I need the documentation for now. And we're downloading my Magic Leap Unity package. which is gonna be, as soon as it's done and we open it, it's gonna give us a prompt like this with everything that is downloading. That's probably some of the predefined scripts that Magic Leap provides, so as wrappers to the Lumin SDK. So let's see, so we'll do that, navigate to the SDK version, Magic Leap Unity package located by default. Okay, perfect. Alright, so let's see, so it looks like it's completed, so we're just going to click on open folder, and this is going to be the package that we downloaded, so I'm just going to double click it, and we don't need to click on import. If we double click it, it's also going to do the same thing that the instructions is doing. I think it's easier if we just double click it, and import, this is what we're going to do, so we're just going to click on import, and that's going to create a new folder in here under assets, which is going to contain everything that we need to interact with a Magic Leap. Okay, compiling. Let me just keep going and see what we're going to be doing next. So it looks like we have some configuration to do as well on the camera. And this is the kind of thing that I want to streamline. I don't want to have to do this every time. So I might create a kind of like a build pipeline to automate this process and create a template and also open source that template so that you can use it. Okay, and looks like it's still importing. So let's see, when creating a multi-scene project, set Magic Leap camera presets as the default camera. Okay, so we'll do that, and we're gonna go into the hierarchy window, remove the default camera from the new scene. Okay, and in the project window, expand preset and select the Magic Leap camera. Okay, perfect. So we'll wait until this is done. I think we're almost there. Just a couple more files. So there's some example empty MP3. Okay, so it's importing assets and probably populating the assets database. Excellent. So the instruction says to go to the hierarchy window and we can remove the default camera. Perfect, which is what we just did. And then in the project window, expand the preset and select the Magic Leap camera. So we'll go here and select that one. And then once we do that, then in the inspector window, set as the camera default, which is not what we're seeing because I think it already automatically did it for us. I think these instructions might be out of date. And then in the hierarchy window, select a camera and not the main camera. Okay, perfect. In the hierarchy window, select a camera and not the main camera tag. Okay, so which is here, and it told us to delete the camera. So let me see what we need to do here because the instructions are now very straightforward. Let's see. Set the camera in the new scenes. Perform these steps only when creating. Oh, okay. Only when creating additional scenes in the project. So we don't need to do that, I don't believe. So let me go back in. Okay, so I think everything that we have right now should be good. And then remove from the main camera. I think all of these things are already defined. Okay, perfect. So I think all of this looks good. And we configure everything correctly. So I'm just gonna go back and I'm gonna go scroll down. Let's go back into the Unity setup, and once we go through this process, I want to find the Hello Cube example, so which is gonna be here. And so we did the install Unity and configure a Magic Leap project. So now what we're gonna do is create a Hello World, kind of like a Hello Cube example. So this is what we're gonna do. So the first thing that we're gonna do is go into and create a folder. And then we're going to name a material. So we'll create a new folder here. And this guy, it's going to be called, actually it's just going to be a material folder. Then go inside, and then it just says to create a cube material. So just create a new material, and this is going to be called cube material. And according to the documentation, with the cube material selected, go to the inspector, and tap under OK. We'll do that. And we're gonna set the values on the RGB to that and then close. Okay, so let's go into this, and in the RGB it says to do 241. Let's go back here. So it wants 241, and then it wants 39, and then 66. Okay, so he wants basically kind of a red color. Excellent. So now let's go back down. So we did all that, and then we're gonna add a cube to our scene. So we're gonna just right click on the hierarchy and then 3D object, and we're just gonna create a cube. And perfect, we did that. In the inspector, he wants us to change the location. So Y is gonna be 2, 3, 65. So we're gonna do 2, 3, and the rotation is gonna be at 65. So I guess so you can see it a little bit, you know, right on what we're looking through, and also rotating the cube a little bit. And then the size is gonna be 0.25 all the way across. So we'll just do that. 0.25, 0.25, and 0.25. Excellent. And now we can go in the inspector tab. Okay, and we're just gonna assign so we're just basically just gonna assign that material, and that's gonna be our cube. Excellent. And that's our camera. The camera issue is kind of bugging me because the instructions wasn't really explicit, but it says to remove from camera default, and I think we should be fine. I keep looking at it and just want to make sure that the instructions are correct, but if not, we can go back through and then fix it. Excellent. So next it says to build and run the application on the device or play it through the Magic Leap remote. So we're just gonna follow the build instructions. So we can play mode with the Magic Leap remote. So I haven't done this as well, so let's see. We can do the device if we like to as well. I'm gonna do that one later. Let's see if we can get it working with the Magic Leap remote. So if I open the Magic Leap remote, it's gonna give us, it's telling us that there are two options. One is the simulator. So if we don't have the device, we can use that. This removes the build and run process and keeps the same session between the coding interactions. Okay, or we can use the device. Use when you have a device, it removes the build and run process and renders to your virtual content, both in Unity. So what this is doing is just basically just kind of like streaming what you're seeing on the screen from Unity to the device. So we could do it that way. So let's follow the instructions. So open the Magic Leap remote from the package manager, which we did. Now in the Magic Leap remote, follow the on-screen instructions and your mode. So if you started in simulator, which is what we're gonna do, we're gonna click on simulator, and let's wait until it comes up. Perfect. And it says here that in the interaction window, click on the low virtual room icon, which is gonna be, I believe, that one. Okay, perfect. And then select the virtual room to load and click open. Okay, and we haven't created a virtual room before, so I believe we might just, let me go into my Dropbox, and we're gonna go into Delmar Games and my Magic Leap folder, and I guess we have to create a room. So let's just say rooms. And then, or we haven't created a room before. So, okay. In the interaction window, click on load rooms icon and select a virtual room to load. Okay. So, use when you don't have a device. Okay. So, we don't have a room to load. So, I'm just going to hit cancel. And I wonder, so this one is to open one. This guy is to open one as well. What if I want to create one? This guy, what does that one do? Or this guy? Okay, so that is really not very straightforward. And properties. Okay. Obviously the instructions don't really stay exactly. So open the Magic Leap remote from the package manager, which we did. In the Magic Leap remote, follow the on-screen instructions and select your mode. Alright, let's go back. I'm gonna kill it, and I'm gonna kill everything. And I'm just gonna go and follow the instructions again. So we'll do magic leap remove and open it up. Alright, so it says to iterate on the simulator, click on start simulator, which is what we did. Okay, so we click on that. Now please start the virtual room. Okay, so which we have. Excellent. So I think I'm just gonna ignore these two and see what happens if I go into Unity and I hit play. I wonder if that it's gonna connect automatically to this, maybe. Okay, now if I click on plus, nothing happens. And I know that Unity has something called editors, but that it's not how this one works. Okay, so we're playing, we don't see anything. What if we go to build settings? And none of this really states what we need to do. Man, this is really bad UI, where it doesn't really say what we need to do. Minimap selection, okay, configuration, a room. Okay, let me see if I go into the Magic Leap remote, if we can figure it out how to actually use it. Okay, so the Magic Leap remote simulates various Lumin SDK API layers and streams the render frames. Okay, we know that. Infinite virtual rooms. So the bundle virtual room generator tool creates rooms. Okay, what does that tool do? And if we run it on Mac, oh cool, so we can create a virtual room. But the other tool didn't tell us that we could do that. Let's see, virtual room generator. Alright, so I guess there's a virtual room generator that we can use to do that, and I can probably just resize it. There we go. So this is how we use, this is really cool. Awesome. So I'm just gonna leave that as default. We can just generate a room. Oh, that's cool. This looks like that's funny. The little procedural generator that we built for one of our games. Awesome. So I'm just gonna say, you know what, all of this looks great. So what if I want to save the room? Okay, so I'll just save a room. Save. Okay, so here's how you do it. And we're gonna go into my Dropbox, and I'm just gonna expand this and then go into, let's see, where is my games, Magic Leap, rooms, and we can just call this one hello cube room, and then save it. And I think that saved it as a project. I don't want to save it as a project, I want to save it, I believe, as a room. So if I export it, oh, there we go. So export a room. So now I'm gonna go back to the rooms, which we went last time, and this is gonna be the room. So I guess I have a project and a room. Okay, so I did that. I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. Let's just see what happens. And I'm gonna go back into my Magic Leap remote. We're gonna select that room. Awesome. So there's a room. That's really cool. So now I have a virtual room where I believe I can go, okay, I can move things around. Maybe I want to put the carpet back to where that was. And I can move around here. That's cool. Okay. So that's cool and everything looks great. So now how do I get the cube to show up in there? So now if I go here and look around, there's probably a kicker, something that, okay, that's not a cube. And obviously there's nothing here that says that I can connect. So the remote server is on. So I'm running the simulator. Okay, and let's go back into Unity. And I don't see anything in here that tells me. So if I go to the main camera and cube, if I go file, build settings, there's really nothing in here that tells me to connect to the if I do build, it's just gonna build a project, and I don't think I want to build a project. So let's go here. Okay, so we're gonna create a virtual room, which we did. Mouse, editing room objects, so it's fine. Okay, saving and loading virtual rooms, exporting. Okay, so we did that. Now let's go back and see if the documentation somewhere allow us to system requirements. Okay, so go back. Okay, so build and run on your device, and we're not gonna do that. We're gonna play mode with Magic Leap Remote. So use when you don't have a device. This removes the build and run process and keeps the same session between interactions and reduce. Okay. Okay. Install Unity and configure the Magic Leap project. So let's go back to that and see if we miss a step. Okay, so we did that. We did all of that. We definitely did all of that. Okay, so here's a step. Ensure the middle. Okay, in the other settings, Magic Leap Remote macOS under other settings, ensure the metal editor is not selected. Magic Leap Remote. On the Magic Leap menu, click on Enable Zero Iteration. Restart Unity when prompted. Okay. That's not very intuitive, but let's see if we can find out why. Okay, and we got the normal quality and resolution and presentation. I think it's just icons, resolution, other settings, and okay, all that looks fine. We did all of that. That looks fine. Okay, so that still doesn't answer our question. Magic Leap Remote, restart Unity. Virtual room. Oh, show interaction window, which is what we're looking at. Stop. Start it. Start simulator. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Okay, so I'm connected. The thing that I don't see is how do I connect Unity to this? It's really not very intuitive. Okay, so we have a virtual room, but how do I connect? And then here I don't see anywhere. Okay, so maybe we do need to build the application. Let's do a build and see what happens. And I'll just put it on the desktop. I'll just say a new folder, Magic Leap Builds, and then this is hello cube. We'll just build the thing and see what happens. Okay, and looks like it's building now, and this process probably takes a few minutes. And I'm just curious why the device specific under publishing settings. So we did that. On the other settings, okay. Magic Leap Remote macOS under other settings. Under other settings, ensure metal editor support is not selected. You may not have this option, which we don't. In the Magic Leap Remote, on the Magic Leap menu, click Enable Zero Iteration. Okay, so if I go here, and I don't know what that means, to be honest. Okay, well. Magic Leap remote. Start the Magic Leap remote, which we did. Start device. Okay. Right, so it's still building. Curious to see what happens. Let me go down and see if there's something else. Okay. So we did that. Go to the bill. Okay, play your app through the Magic Leap remote. Okay, let's go to that, which is this step. Okay, your title bar must have OpenGL in it. If it doesn't, enable zero interaction from the Magic Leap menu and restart Unity. Okay. Alright, so it looks like this completed and the application got compiled. So I'm not going to run it on the device just yet. I want to see if we can get the other piece working. So I also wanted to see this OpenGL. Let's see, it says your title bar must have OpenGL. And I don't see OpenGL in here. Oh, it says metal, which is what it was complaining. It was saying, okay, let's go back in here. And now I know what they mean from the instructions. I just couldn't understand it. Okay, Magic Leap remote macOS. Under other settings, ensure metal editor support is not selected. Okay. And I don't see, okay, so that's not there. It says under other settings. Let me make sure that that is not available. I don't see anything that says metal. Because metal is normally for iOS. So, okay, you might not even have that option, and I think that's our case, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, and now on the Magic Leap menu, click on Enable Zero Interaction. Okay, so this is the Magic Leap menu that we're talking about. Okay, so let's click on that and restart, and I'll take back everything that I said about the documentation, guys. I just needed to go through this first pass and get it working, and I'm sure things are going to get better as we get more familiar with the SDK and also the documentation. Alright, so now we have, okay, cool, so I see OpenGL, and I don't know if this is going to work, but I'll just see play and see what happens. And let's go into the Magic Leap remote. Oh, look at that. There is a cube. Where did my cube go? Hey cube, where are you? There we go. There is my cube. That's so cool. So simple, but at the same time, it's just cool that I can see. That's cool. So let's see, let's resize this guy, see if that affects what we'd see on the viewport. So if I resize it, make it bigger, come back here, and now it went away. So I think what happens is I need to start it. Let's make it bigger, and then hit play and see what happens. Alright, and then go in here, and I see a cube. I'm just moving too fast. Oh, and I can use my arrows as well. And I can also use my mouse. It's awesome. Cool. So I have a cube. So that is our hello cube, guys. So basically in this video we went through and tried to find out what the documentation was telling us to do. The documentation was fine. It was just I wasn't familiar with some of the options that we have in Unity. I guess we have a Magic Leap option in Unity, and that allow us to enable zero interaction, which is what's going to allow us to connect to the Magic Leap remote. So we also went through and set some of the settings in under build settings, and I think we're ready to build to the device. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video here, And on the next video, we can go through and grab that file that got generated from the build and push it to my device, and we can see if we see the cube as well. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate your time, and let me know if you have any questions. And again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.